Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host Calvin Logan, and I am honored again. I got with me the one and only, the youngest ever to be interviewed, the Logan Power Show, and I got with me one of the kids that I've mentored 10 years ago. I met this young man. I've seen him grow. He's taller than me now. That's because he's been drinking more milk than me, y'all. That's all it is. So don't get it confused. I'm still his senior, okay? Me and his dad got go way back. All right, the one and only, the one on Mr. Mario Mo. What's going on, sir?
Boom. Okay, so we gonna clear it up right now, especially while we on camera. So they call me Amari Mo, but you know the world knows me by Goyard Pbg. So yeah, I'm gonna give out my social medias up.
Yes,
You know,
Goyard
get
Gotti
that going.
PBG. I gotta
So
give it
I was
that
about to
name.
say yeah. See, he know me on a personal
Yeah,
level.
that's a
So
personal level.
yeah. So Instagram, the only Goyard Gotti PBG 74. Twitter, Big Daddy Goyard. You know, a little bit of everything. What else we got? Facebook, Goyard PBG. That's it. But the music's everywhere. I'm on anything that streams music. I'm on it. So you know.
Absolutely. And we got with here his daughter,
Hey, hey, hey.
Miss Catalina Mole, and she is a blessing. And understand this that family is everything as we learned in our house.
Hmm.
That's what we've been taught a long time ago. We know it's all about family, and so he is family. I look at him as like he's one of my little brothers, and it's good to see him do music. House Party '94. It's got a nice little tune to it. I said
Hey,
he been tapping in some old school, got a
you
little
know,
beat
you
to
were
it.
digging through the records. You
He been
know,
digging through the
had to
records.
go
He
through the
digging through
vinyl,
his
see what you had to
records.
come up with.
See, his dad is long time ago. This is 10 years ago. His dad's been making music for a long time. He's a legend. And his father was always into young people making music, and he used to come with all these knocking beats, and he'd be like, "Man, that's it." So to see his son elevate, his eldest son elevate, it's a blessing. So tell us
Yeah.
about the album, about the song. What's going on, man?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off. Groovy Tunes itself was the mixtape, and I was just scratching through, and it came through my email, and when it happens like that, it just felt too good, like I had to do it. So it was cool. It was a real good situation. I like the energy. The thing was, I needed to touch more of a demographic, especially now because I have a daughter. This is my first child. So, like, a lot of things that I said prior to out loud, I had to realize what I was saying out loud.
Got it.
So, it's like, yeah, you can still have your, like, freedom of speech and some more stuff, but, like, you know, sometimes it gotta be G rated. There's places I gotta go that, like, I can't be full jumping up and down, like, how sometimes it's gotta be subtle. So, you know, I had to make something that, you know, even my granny could feel it. Make you want to wash your car. I like it. You feel me?
I got it. Amen. Amen. It's good. As you can see, this young man is growing, he's mature. He understands that um, you got to teach the child the way they should go so they never depart. And as a parent, you got to make sure that you set the standard of how it's going to be. Um, he preaches. I preach on the camera. He preach on the mic. That's how we do.
Really,
But
really.
we both are preaching in different type of platforms. What made you fall in love with the music?
It's literally, it's in my veins. I can't even explain it no more. You have to understand who my uncle is, to know who my dad is, to know who my little brother is, to know who my godfather is, to know who my mother is, to know who my aunt is. It's a chain reaction. Like it's, I come from a musical family in general. Like I really don't think there's a planet, like a family on this planet that has like as many musicians collectively as my family has. Like it's impressive, but like everybody has to take their own path. You feel me? So like I can't make. Sometimes you can't make the music that they want you per se to make because I'm still trying to express how I feel. I understand how you feel, but you don't understand how I feel. So while I have your attention, especially I don't care if it's just 3 minutes, however just long the song is, you got to make your words count. Cause there's plenty of trash music that's not talking about nothing in the beat knocking, but what does that count for? It doesn't get anything accomplished. I want like I make records, I make like classical music. Like 10 years from now, you still want to hear it. It's not like yeah, it was just hot that one summer. Like you remember that one song? Like nah, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be every time you hear that, like yeah, run that back, run that back, run that back, and that's how the. I'm a perfectionist in that sense because like I hear what I hear, and nobody really understands how creative I am, except for like the people who with me, like my partner, Teen Swag. Shout out Teen Swag, young young. Yeah, she always like she got a good understanding of me. Like our musical relationship and like our friendship is like it coincides in one, so it's cool because like we know how to exist with each other and we like work around. So it's like but just the creative process and everything, like I love it. I love being up late nights. I love like going on the road. You headed to Atlanta, you headed wherever, run out of gas, sleeping at rest stops, eating pizza, cold pizza. Like that was the fun parts of it, like coming up. But like now, I'm past that. But like
Got it.
you still have to take it for what it's worth. Like I don't know, there's some things you just can't fast forward and just go do it.
Mm.
I wasn't supposed to get where I was supposed to get at 21. I wasn't supposed to get where I was supposed to get at 22, 23. Like mentally and some more stuff. I wasn't ready to be what I was supposed to be. You're gonna always be what you're gonna be in time, but in time, you can't rush it. Like, and that's the hardest thing ever. You feel me? So,
Amen. Amen.
ride it out.
I write it out. It's right. And like it's most more. If you see some of it, most of it is beats. They got 60s type of 70s type of flavor to it. He does mix some of the older type of hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but let's be honest. We all haven't been saved all our lives, and like I said, my parents was 60s, 70s in the house, 80s. I'm an 80s baby. I can tell you about hip hop, old school, good
Say what
school.
it is, huh?
I can tell you about good lyricists that they can say certain things without going to that level. It's always articulate your mind, creativity, and to have a young man in his 20s that understand that certain beats, certain type of flavor of music is not going to go away because you got to understand if you can get a grandma to listen to your music along with the mother, the daughter, and the granddaughter to play your music, then you know how to transition generations.
Good.
So his generation of music can actually can speak to that grandmother or that grandfather and say, I remember we used to listen to that back in the day. We used to disco that thing. We used to understand how music used to flow. Or you get that mother say, I ain't too old. I remember I used to listen to that at one time in my life. And the young person will say, mom, that's kind of cool. I want to do that. Now the grandkids are always gonna follow what grandma and grandpa does. And I believe music has an answer. Music can open doors. Music can also close doors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why music is very powerful. And I believe you're in a powerful situation. Um, where do you see this going? Because you're different. You're not worried about. One thing I like about yourself, you're not worried about what people say. Is this is who I am.
Never have been. Like I believe that's the true Aquarius in me. Like once I have something set on my mind, like that's what it's gonna be. Like you can't tell me no otherwise. And like that's one thing that my parents taught me. If you really want to do something, like you'll mold, go prosper, go do like all this whole world, anything you want to touch, you can touch it. So it's like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I don't care if there's 7 people watching, or 7,000 people watching, or 70,000 people watching. I'm still the same person. And you got to be comfortable with being you. And that's where a lot of musicians, they struggle because they want to do what everybody else want to do. The A&R at the record label, he wants you to make this kind of song. Your peoples want you to make this kind of song. So it's like you're getting pulled from so many different directions, let alone your day-to-day life. You still got to live. Everybody don't know, like, to be an independent musician is the most expensive thing you can do because everything is out of pocket.
Yeah.
So it's an expensive hobby until it makes some money. And it's only like, your people's here when it come up. Like, they hear like, oh yeah, no, that's different than the other one. All right, keep going. I like that one. And it's cool and like, I don't know. Like, because a lot of people say their friends and their family don't support them. I don't really have that problem. Maybe like, see, like, I do it for her. She's like absorbed in everything I say. So even when I say things out loud, I have to understand what I'm saying. So when I speak things, I always speak into the future tense because like you have to understand that even when you wake up in the past. You wake up with everything that you were thinking about last night and some more stuff. So like energy and like all that, like you just really have to measure. So like when you're moving forward, if I say I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. That's just how you already know. You know me for 10 years. You know how we came up because we were taught to certain things. Like so, like certain things just as a child, you know, we gotta eat the meat, spit out the bone on that conversation. But like, I learned a lot from being under that, just like how to deal with people and how to like enunciate words, like especially growing up in Charleston, because my mom is from Queens, so most people she wasn't having it. Like, it's crazy because the rest of my family is rooted here, but she just so certain things she had to let me understand that you have to be able to communicate with everybody.
Hmm.
I personally believe that because I can transcend through any conversation. Like, I can go talk with a straight businessman, I can go kick it with the homies, I can go do, like, you have to be able to wear different hats throughout the day, because that's how you get things accomplished. If you ain't getting nothing accomplished, then you wasting time,
You right about
and
that.
everything got to count.
Yes, sir. And shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Mo.
Hey,
They are a blessing to me and my family. I can't tell you how a blessing um, their family has been to us. Just mentorship. I ain't. I'm not talking about like financial. It's just conversation. His dad, he was the one who was speaking into my daughter's life a long time ago. Said she'd be really good in music, and I remember like it was yesterday. My daughter was on praise and worship, and she was young. She was like probably maybe 8. No, no, I'll go back. She was about 5 years old. She's the youngest on praise and worship, and he said, "This girl can be on praise and worship. She is that good." And so from that time, it's really it's connected. But he knew then that this girl had potential, and that's the thing. As you can see, to be able to be a father and say I can do an interview and my daughter can listen to me and she actually feels the vibe, you can tell that that's a father that's connected to his little girl. And he reminds me of how I was connected to mine, um, my Jazzy, because there's a lot of times when you saw me, you saw my wife, and you saw me, my little girl in my arms, and then she always knew to connect with. So, man, how can people get in contact with you, brother?
boom. Yeah, don't call my phone. If you need to email me, reach out, anything, beats or anything, shows, talking events, I do walkthroughs, we do a little bit of everything. I'll do your bar mitzvah if you got the money. So, you know. Bookgoyardgotti@gmail.com. Once again, my Instagram is the only Goyard Pbg, Facebook, Goyard Pbg, YouTube, title, Apple Music, anywhere else, you know, Goyard Gotti, you'll find me.
Yeah.
Type it in.
Yes, yes, sir. Also, don't forget SoundCloud. Like I said,
Yep.
House Party 94. I promise you, this man's gonna make some transition things. I can't wait to the Grammys.
Hey,
Like I said, I'll be just the one. Like I said, I'll be just the one.
already got my speech written.
I guess no, I'll be the one right there. I'm be the one. I'm be the one. I'm be the one saying to himself, I told y'all. Listen, I ain't looking for no tickets. I'm just looking to one to be able to encourage and I'll be the one holding his daughter while he go get his award. Him and his wife go up there and get it with his team. And I told y'all again, you better watch what he's doing. Remember, encourage somebody today. You never know where that person's going to be in life. But always encourage and pay it forward. And
Make
that's
your
why I'm
words
paying.
count. Make your words count.
Yes,
If
sir.
nothing else, make your words count. Because every time you open your mouth, you got 2 ears and you got 1 mouth. So you have to make everything you say count. You
Amen.
feel me?
Amen.
All right.
So we feeling you. I feel everybody else. The Logan Power Show nationwide, worldwide. We love you.
Hey, peace.
We'll see you soon.